So Etienne, there's a critical issue that we're looking to address here on INTA, and that's unregistered attendees to the annual meeting. Last year, in response to this issue, we ran a campaign on social media trying to encourage everyone to register and wear their badge. This includes people that travel to the city but who don't register and take advantage of all the meeting has to offer. There's huge implications for INTA and the community. What is the scope of the issue here, and what do we understand to be the estimated economic impact of this issue?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a huge issue for the association. It's a huge issue for me personally. I think it's totally unacceptable. In terms of size, I would say this is a kind of guesstimate, but I think it's a pretty accurate guesstimate. It might be between 1,000 to 1,500 people who are attending the annual meeting and who are not registered. Now, if you take that number and you look at what is the registration fee on early bird only, we're talking about a direct loss for the association that is between 1.5 to 2.2 million on a given year. Now, if you take that over 10 years, it represents around 22 to 25 million US dollars. So it's huge.
So, I mean, this is unfair on everyone that has registered. What is the impact for the paying registrants of all of these unregistered participants?
Well, I think, there are several impacts. First, there is a kind of, I would say moral impact, which is the lack of respect for the work others are doing who are coming, as legitimate registrants to the annual meeting. Second, and everybody will understand that, it's unfair competition. And number three, it has some financial implications because, of course, INTA is forced to increase the dues to attend an annual meeting. If everybody would be paying its registration fees, probably we wouldn't have to increase our fees on a yearly basis.
Registering for an annual meeting, it's an investment into INTA. It ensures that as an association we can continue to host these events and to facilitate the business development that all of our registrants come to take advantage of. What are the implications of INTA losing that revenue? One, for the association, but also for the meeting participants.
Well, as I mentioned before, the direct loss, I'm not talking about direct and indirect, I'm just talking about, the direct loss for the association is between 1.5 to 2.2 million on a given year. Over 10 years, it's going to be between 22 to 25 million if you consider inflation. 25 million is our yearly budget. So that means that, for, 1 year, we would not be able to operate at all. So I think that's already, very significant. But if you take, the loss on just 1 year, let's take the 2.2 million. This represents the budget of all our rep offices. So I'm talking about our DC office, our Brussels office, our Latin America office, our China office, our Asia Pacific office, our India office. I think it's massive. Another way to look into that, it's 10 times the budget of the INTA Foundation. And when we think that the INTA Foundation is working to promote DEI among students and is developing a good cause, not allowing the foundation to do its job by not registering to the annual meeting is immoral.
So you're touching on a good point there. There's a moral implication here. And frankly, it's unethical for others to be taking advantage of INTA and of paying registrants in this way. What are your views in terms of this issue from a moral perspective?
Well, as I said, I think you're hearing me loud and clear. I think it's absolutely unethical. I think it's unfair. I think it's really, cheating on your, colleagues. And to me, it's a lack of belonging. It's a lack of solidarity. It's a lack of support. And those people are, coming to the annual meeting, feeling very comfortable about not being registered and just interacting with others as nothing would be happening. No, I don't think it's acceptable.
And Etienne, what we do know is, there's that 1,000 to 1,500 that come, they don't register. There's other ways that people are taking advantage. Could you talk a little to some of the other ways that people are not paying to participate?
Well, I think first let me explain what those unregistered or unpaid attendees are missing. They're not able to attend the sessions. They're not able to attend the INTA receptions and business development opportunities. They're not able to attend the innovation marketplace. They're not able to attend the meetings that the corporations are setting within the convention center. And more importantly, I think they're losing face and they're losing respect from the entire community. There is something that those unregistered attendees do not understand. And it's the fact that the registered attendees talk to each other, and particularly the corporate attendees talk to each other and say, oh, by the way, did you notice that this person was not registered? I've witnessed those conversations, at a board level. And I can tell you, on occasions, the consequence of that has been, I'm not going to be using that firm anymore as an external counsel. So, it's definitely important.
And, you mentioned, of course, the corporates. The law firm registrants, they're coming to meet with the corporates. That's their sort of almost their primary goal of coming to an INTA annual meeting. What is your message to the corporate membership base as it relates to this issue?
Well, I think, my message would be not only to the corporates, it would be to all those members who are registered and who pay for the registration fees. I would really ask them to not necessarily police that situation, but make very clear to those people who are unregistered that they're not comfortable meeting them. That people who are not paying for the registration fees are not supporting the cause of the association, are not supporting the idea of building a better society through grants. So if you want to take advantage of a community without really participating into the work of the community, without showing solidarity to the community, you probably do not deserve being part of that community.
And Etienne, one last question on this issue. What is INTA doing to combat this issue as we look forward to Atlanta?
Well, first thing, of course, we're increasing from a kind of more operational perspective, we're increasing our signage in the Georgia World Convention Center, so that it's very clear that, from a given point, you absolutely need to be badged to enter the area, which basically means that anything that will happen that is relevant, you will need to be badged, number one. Number two, we're significantly increasing security at the entry points so that it will be impossible for you to get anywhere without a badge. And number three, we're buying out some of the common areas like a coffee area, reception area, so that cannot happen. So that's number one. Number two, in terms of, meetings and corporate space, we're inviting every year more corporations to organize their meetings within the convention center. And that's proving to be very successful because you cannot attend those meetings without a badge. And last but not least, last year we did a communication campaign, which was, attending an annual meeting without a badge is like, buying a counterfeit. This time we want to turn it more in a kind of, more positive way and really talking about, the value of your badge. Because the reason why I'm insisting on your badge is because we see sometimes people exchanging badges. So I think that doesn't make any sense neither. And really, the concept of your badge is what does your badge mean? And it means affiliation, it means inclusivity, it means support, it means unity, it means community, it means belonging, it means solidarity, it means support. That's the kind of message we want to convey to the membership.
Etienne, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.